This episode is brought to you by Santos Threads. Make sure to visit Santos-Threads for the latest and greatest in men's and women's Latino urban-inspired streetwear. Visit SANTOS-THREADS.com. Hey, you are now listening to the Santos Says podcast, episode number 49. Back again one more time. Happy to be with you guys once more. Don't forget to follow me on social media, Instagram, Santos Thread Shop, as well as on TikTok, Santos Thread Shop. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe. And of course, as always, this episode is brought to you by Santos Threads. On this episode, I'm very pleased to have this guest. This person is a multifaceted individual, someone who I have the privilege to join me here. This person is a director, obviously not just music videos, film, photographer. He's an extraordinary. He's like a Swiss Army knife. The guy is super talented. And of course, he represents the legendary, from MIA, the legendary Crazy Hood crew, which we'll get into that too. We'll talk about what he's up to, and we'll chop it up with him as far as what he's up to these days. And of course, not to be lost in it, because this is how I knew of this individual. This individual was a hell of an MC as well, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well, because that's definitely part of his story, and we gotta talk about it. So, without further ado, I want to welcome to the show the one and only Michael Garcia, aka, as I first came to know him as, Garcia from MIA. Welcome to the show.
Hey man, how you doing? What's good, bro? How you doing, man?
Good, man. Listen, it's a pleasure to have you on, and I want to let you know I'm a big fan of your work, and I appreciate you definitely jumping on.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. I'm happy to be here.
No doubt. So we'll jump right into it, right? So it's funny. So I'm just kind of scrolling through my Instagram. I'm looking. Obviously, I follow Crazy Hoods a little bit. Crazy Hood. Familiar with EFN. Obviously, EFN is taking off to the moon with everything he's done. He's just really active in what he does. So I'm watching that. I'm following him. I listen to Drink Champs, the whole thing. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, I think one time I dropped him a comment. This was months ago. I'm like, where's Garcia? I did not know that you jumped and had transitioned into directing.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to know from you is, how did you get into directing? I was like, man, I was a big fan of your music, and so I was looking for your music. I'm like, what happened to that? So go ahead. How did you transition into that?
Well, it kind of happened organically, yo. So like back when we was really going hard on the promo tip with Crazy Hood, we needed music videos, and we was just coming up. We didn't have money to pay big directors or anything like that. And film was always a big interest of mine. And I grew up watching MTV and every music video you could think of, and really being obsessed with that kind of craft. So I took it upon myself when we first got our first website back in like 2000 or 2001, somewhere in the ballpark. I was buying little camcorders at Best Buy and shooting like or telling somebody in the crew like Eddie Giggs or Heckler to hold the camera so they could shoot me when I was doing my music. And then I taught myself how to edit. So I just started teaching myself how to edit. So it was something I was always doing behind the scenes just to help Crazy Hood out. So I was always shooting all the content and shooting all the everything. And then at one point, I had my daughter about, I want to say 12 years ago now. She's 14. So yeah, 14 years ago, I had my daughter, but 12 years ago, I came to a realization where I just kind of wanted to be home more with my kid. I was tired of just like rocking stages and going on tours and not being home. And I wasn't really satisfied with the direction that hip hop in general was going. So I just transitioned and started doing music videos full time for local bands around Miami. Did that for a very long time, and that's how I was just getting by. And then EFN started the Coming Home series, which is a documentary following us going to different countries and discovering hip hop culture. And I was shooting all of those. And then one day out of nowhere, my man Gil Green, big music video director, multi-VMA winning music video director, calls me and it was like, yo, there's this artist named Kodak Black that's dropping this new single called Tunnel Vision, and they need a video. Do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, sure. So yeah, I'll do it. So I just jumped in and did it, and the video blew up like overnight, 5 million hits. You know, I think to date's like 350 million hits, somewhere in that ballpark, and that's just on YouTube. Another probably 500 million on Apple Music and Spotify videos and all that. So it just blew my career up. Next thing you know, every record label in the country's calling me, trying to get me to do their artist's music video like overnight. It was like literally, it was like 12 years of just work and prep and prep and prep. And then what seems like overnight success, like it was a culmination of all those 12 years, you know? So that's how I transitioned. And then from there, it's just been nonstop, man.
It's crazy how you say that, right? Because it's like, I'm sure you didn't have it in the cards, even though, like you said, you were sharpening your skills, right? I'm sure you thought in the back of your mind years back, right? If they asked you 12 years ago, 10 years ago, nah, I'm gonna be rocking stages, like you said. I'm gonna be, but at some point you got to the realization, but you fell out of love with it. Aside from your daughter, obviously, which you're to be commended. First of all, we need to, show respect to the fathers who are present. Which I think a lot of times fathers get a bad rap, and it's like, it's a real thing. You're present and you decided to do that for your family. But aside from that, what was it that about the game that you didn't like the direction, as far as when you were, what made you fall out of love for it?
Man, I pride myself on being a lyricist. Like I'm a MC's MC, and it got to a point where music just started getting into statistics, like how many hits does this have on YouTube? How many views does this have? How many radio spins? And then that started altering my music towards the end of like, I got to make songs for the radio because my songs started getting on the radio. So I got to make songs for the radio. And I just found myself not doing it because of what made me do it initially, which is I just love hip hop and hip hop culture. I was accredited, and still to this day, accredit hip hop culture as more of my culture than Cuban culture. Like I was raised in hip hop.
Of course.
I'm born Cuban, but I'm raised in hip hop, and I just kind of found myself not being authentic to myself. I was, oh man, if I wear this clothes, but I step outside, what are people gonna think? Or like if I say this one line this way, I might offend somebody over here. And I was never like that, man. I didn't care. I never cared what anybody thought. Like just not who I am. And I found myself doing things just to appease the industry versus doing things that actually made me happy. And I wasn't pushing the culture forward no more. And I found myself being 32 years old, 33 years old. And I didn't want to be 35 years old chasing a record deal, and I had deals offered to me, don't get it twisted, but like they weren't the right deals, so we didn't take them. And I didn't want to be 35 still in this struggle, like just, I got this many BDS spins, or look, my new video on YouTube has 10,000 views. Or I didn't want to be that guy no more. I didn't care. I just wanted to step away, get my head straight. There was some street stuff going on too that I found myself in a couple of legal issues that I don't want to really promote, but I was in some little bit of but I was in a little bit of trouble too over there. So when I beat those cases and got myself together, I was like, I'm just gonna get my head straight, be a real father, and do something that's gonna really propel me, and that I could still be myself and push the culture forward and help hip hop the way it helped me. And music videos just happen to be one of those avenues for me. When I found myself like really falling in love with just a craft and an art form again. Being able to look at an artist like Kodak Black, to Busta Rhymes, to Sting, and really diving into their work and their worlds and being like, yo, this would be super dope if this artist did this, and you help shape a visual for them. It's almost like playing God, right? Like I think of these cool ideas and then I could create these sets, so I really started enjoying that. And I also enjoyed just like showing up to work in flip-flops and socks and a t-shirt, and like not caring, like just getting ready to go. But still, growing old gracefully, and this is not to knock anybody who dares to dream at whatever age you dare to dream at. Like I'm not one of those dudes who tell you that rappers shouldn't rap when they're old, or that, there's a coming age where a rapper shouldn't be a rapper. I would never say that. I just didn't have it in my heart anymore to want to be that person anymore. I wanted to change, and I chose to change. But if by all means, if a 50-year-old man is out there trying to spit lyrics with no record deal, but that's what he loves to do, then by all means, go do that. So, don't get me wrong, I'll still write bars. I'll still sit with a pen and pad when I have a moment to myself. I just don't want to be doing it for a specific outcome. I just want to do it because I love it. And that to me has always been paramount in everything I do. Like, if I ever fall out of love with directing, I'll find something else to fall in love with and just walk away from it, bro. Like that's just the kind of person that I am, So
it's always about a check. and for a lot of people. So that's a hard thing to kind of just say, right? And you're at that point where you're getting notoriety, you're getting recognition, you've worked with different kinds of people, and you're climbing, right? And you've had success, and you're having more success. And like you said, to just walk away from it if it doesn't make you, if it's not fulfilling, I'm sure there's a lot of monetary, stuff there to gain, but having the being able to walk away from something is a hard thing to do.
I mean, remember when Dave Chappelle walked away from the Chappelle show and he was offered
Yeah.
like $50 million? That was like one of the realest things I ever seen in my life. I was like,
real. Yep.
like he was just not happy, and the $50 million isn't gonna make him happy, And I know a lot of really rich, miserable people, bro. Like straight up, like rich, miserable human beings, and I know a lot of really happy poor people. So I'm just my mind state. And this is not for everybody, and it's not easy what I do. And there are days where I'm super stressed out, and there's days where shit gets really real in the house. But I'm of just a mindset, if I got one go round in this life, bro, I might as well be happy, and just try to smile, And I wasn't happy doing music anymore, but don't be wrong, I'm Crazy Hood to the day that I die. Those are my brothers, and EFN is one of my best friends in the world. To this day, we talk all the time. I'm always at the drink champs hanging out with them, So that's my guy. He had to respect the decision too. He had to respect my decision as well. And that's when we started doing the coming homes, and we work together in different ways now. But that's always going to be my brother. Crazy Hood isn't a record label; it's a family.
That's right.
And we're like brothers. So like we have a group chat where we just clown on each other every single day, and that's all we do. We don't even talk business on the group chat. We just clown each other. So. I love them to the day that I die. I love everything, but they've been supportive as hell of me too. I'm just moving forward and moving on in my career and my path. And we cross paths all the time, business wise, to this day, because that's my bro. So
talk to me. I'm glad you mentioned. That's a good transition for Crazy Hood. How long have you been affiliated with Crazy Hood?
Since 1996, bro.
Wow, almost since the beginning.
Yeah. They were since 93. I was the last of the original members, so I was 96. So I'm 3 years younger than them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. What?
No. So we met in 96. I was dropping a cassette single. I was a senior in high school. I was so horrible, man. Looking back now, like I was a terrible, terrible rapper. But I was trying. It was my
yeah.
But what caught EFN's eye? Now EFN was already putting out the mixtapes. Like it was around the time that Big Pun You Ain't a Killer had just come out. I remember that. I always shoot it because that mixtape came out. That was the first time I heard that record. It was EFN Volume 8. He put Big Pun You Ain't a Killer, and I was like, yo, I gotta meet EFN, and I was putting out these cassettes, but my cassettes, they were actually like shrink wrap, and they were like really well like professional, not things that normal 17-year-old kids do. Like I wasn't writing on the back of no tape with a Sharpie marker, my bro. Like my shit looked like you bought it in Specs. And I was hustling and saving money just to do that. And it caught his attention that I was so professional with it. So that's how we got to meet. And then he sat down. I was like, look, your music needs work, but I'll help you if you want. And bro, the fact that he told me my music needs work, but I'll help you get there. He was my brother that day for the first of my life, bro. So.
Yeah. So EFN saw something in you that you may not have otherwise been able to understand or see about yourself.
He taught me confidence in myself. Every artist, I don't care who the artist is insecure, bro. And the more cocky they are, usually the more insecure they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up. He taught me how to really be just confident within my own skin and go out there and not care. And that's I'm still a work in progress, bro. But like, and we all will be to the day we die. We ain't elevating. We might as well just leave Earth. But like,
that's right.
But he really helped me. He was like a big brother that I didn't have. I'm an only child. He was in a lot of ways a father figure to me. I mean, he was in a lot of ways my best friend, because people look at his best friend as a person that'll be like with you through and through, but he'd be with me through and through and check me. You know what I'm saying? And be like, yo, you screwing up, or no, I'm not with this shit, or he'll tell me like this is whack, or and whether it be in my personal life or in my music career or in business or anything, he'll just tell me, yo, you fouling out or you doing good, and he really like taught me almost how to be a man, so because he's older than me, and I always looked up to him like big bro, so I'll never ever, I can never say a bad word about that guy, bro.
Wow. No, I love hearing that story because you don't get too many stories like that, right? Because a lot of times when you meet under those circumstances, it becomes just business, right? For some people, let's be honest, you've experienced it on multiple fronts. A lot of times it's business. It's just business, but it transcended business with EFN.
Yeah, always, man. And when you get into Crazy Hood, like, everybody, and God, grace be to God, that everybody who's ever joined Crazy Hood is still with us on Earth, but we've never kicked anybody out. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's never been a person that leaves. We'll have arguments and we'll not get along for a week and we'll bump heads, but like, that's just what family does. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like, nobody leaves Crazy Hood because we're always together, man. It's a very, very tight circle that not many people get to penetrate, but everybody comes around it, but not many people get to penetrate. You know, because we don't care about the industry games. We don't give a shit about the industry. We don't care about We care about hip hop culture. We care about music. We care about art. We care about everything that comes with hip hop culture. B-boys, MC, knowledge of self, the whole, down to the brass tacks of it all. That's what graffiti. We're with all the elements of hip hop. Everything else outside of that, it's just business, bro. You know, so.
No, definitely. Like I respect that. So you mentioned Big Pun, right? That's interesting that you mentioned Big Pun, because I always could hear that there was a little influence of Pun. I could hear it a little bit. You had your own style when you were coming up and you were rapping, but I always heard you giving props to Pun. What did Big Pun mean to you?
I mean, I grew up in the era of Cypress Hill, right? In Cypress Hill, that's when I was a teenager. That was the first really big Latino act that I was like, Latins can actually do this. But then when I saw Big Pun become basically the best rapper in the game at the time, and I don't care what nobody says, like pound for pound, if you just break down his words, he might have been the best to ever do it. And he doesn't get the credit he deserves, but in my head, he was one of the best to ever do it. If not the best. And I was like, this guy is pound for pound top 5 dead or alive right now. Like, there's nobody messing with this guy. He showed me that a Latin rapper could really be that. And I actually had the privilege to meet him once when he was alive. Very quick interaction. He was just hanging on the street corner by himself. Not an easy guy to miss. He's a big guy. Right. So like, so you knew that was him. I've met Joe several times since then. Joe's always been a great guy. I mean, everybody I've met from Terror Squad, even Cuba Link, was always cool with me. But Pun I only got to meet once, and treated me with nothing but respect. Walked up to him, gave him a tape. He probably never heard it, but I gave one of my CDs or cassettes, whatever I had at the time, and he was like, "Yo, thank you, babe. I got y'all. Respect." And he put it and he shook my hand. But I mean, big artists that I would give a cassette to that would shit on me. You know what I'm saying? So like, or a cassette, but he was always cool, and that at least he was cool that one day. Cuban Link actually bought a CD for me once. Like, he actually paid me for my CD, which I was like,
wow.
Yeah. And Joe, I've seen Joe a lot because of Nori. Because me and Nori cool. So when I be around Nori, I'll see Joe a lot. And Joe's always just a man of respect. Shakes your hand, comes up to you like, "Yo, what's good? How you doing? Everything cool?" Like, real personable guy, man. No, I have nothing bad to say about anything, but they just showed us that like Latinos can move in this industry as well and be a force to reckon with in hip hop. So Pun's always been a big inspiration in my life.
Nah, no doubt, man. Like, no doubt. I always felt like New York and Miami, there's differences, but I always felt like because of all the transplants in Miami, right, from New York, and then back and forth, the way everything travels, it's almost like Miami's like New York's southern cousin. So I always felt like there was more similarities than differences, despite the climate differences, and you know what I mean. There was always a lot of.
Well, I mean, we had the same thing. Yeah, you guys had Funk Flex. We had DJ Khaled. It's very similar. I mean, you got big buildings, we got big palm trees. But the vibe is the same. It's still flashy. I mean, we still have the same element in hip hop. Still dancehall reggae. Still very Caribbean. So a lot of things are very similar in the way New York and Miami approaches things. There's obviously some stark differences. But New York has definitely had its impact on Miami, and Miami's had its impact on New York as well. Because I mean, my mother's from the Bronx. She was raised in the Bronx, came down here, so I'm a product of that. Wow. So like, she moved down here the second she had me. So I was born here. So she got pregnant, came down here. So
that's an interesting story. See, I would have never known that. That's an interesting story, because there used to be, the Cuban story. I think the Cuban New York story is very. It's not well known. It's not told well, because when Cubans came here, they came here in the 60s, and then they kind of scattered Jersey, Florida, Key West, all the different parts. And so It's interesting you brought that up because not a lot of people would associate that, with the story, but it's true.
Well, yeah, I mean, the first wave of Cubans was through Ellis Island.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know. Like, my mom came through Ellis Island. She was born in Cuba, came through Ellis Island. So my whole family went that route, lived in the Bronx, and then eventually migrated down to Miami. So same shit. It's true. Like, a lot of people don't realize that the Cubans didn't just. People look at Scarface and think the Cubans just floated to Miami.
Yeah.
That was the second wave, bro.
Yep. That wasn't the first. You're right. Yep. Yeah. Or the music too, man. Like, people don't realize, like, before the I mean, this isn't Latin music, I'm thinking, but like before the Latin music, with salsa and all that stuff took off, the Cubans were the first ones that had their music back in the day, and they brought, they had that whole wave, and they did their thing up here too. So
yeah, I don't want to get into the because I could do this for hours, but I want to get into the conversation of who invented salsa. But
no. We know. We know who did.
Cubans invented salsa.
We know. No. We know. Listen, I have it clear. I'm Puerto Rican. I made this tea. This is my tea I made. I have you on.
I need that, yes.
I have you. That's why I have it on because I had you on. So I'm Puerto Rican, but I respect my Cubans, no doubt. They are cousins. So So getting back to you, right? So what you've been able to do, I told you offline that I got my introduction to you was Life Unscripted. And that album, I don't think you realize, I mean, you're a confident person, but I don't think you realize how much that album meant to me. And I want to tell you while I have you here. That album meant so much to me. It got me through some tough times. I bought the CD. I used to work in a record shop. And I bought that. At that time, people bought CDs, whoever's listening, watching. People bought music, right? People bought it. I remember the pamphlet. I remember the cover where half of your face like that. The red letters, the whole thing. I mean, I went through the whole thing. The whole album, a great album. Where did you get the inspiration? And we're going to get into your obviously your career that you do now. But I just wanted to get that out of the way.
It's all good, bro. I'm an open book. You can ask me whatever you want. So.
Yeah. So Life Unscripted, where did you get the idea for this album? Because to me, it's your best work. I've listened to all your,
I appreciate it. EFN says the same thing, by the way. That album, I was going through, I want to say album was, but 2005, I think, or 2004, somewhere in that ballpark. I was going through a divorce. My life was really falling apart. Like there were some songs that I could send you a couple records that nobody's got that should have made that album that'll blow your mind. But they were just so deep that like he was like, yo, you can't put this on here. You might regret putting this shit out. Like it's too deep. Now I don't care looking back, but like at the time he was probably right. Produced by my man Has too, some of those records. But that album, like I'm glad that my pain was able to help someone like yourself or anybody that may have heard it. Because it's like a great Jewish proverb, right? You save one life, you save the world. Like it means a lot to me as an artist that you would say that to me face to face, and I wholeheartedly appreciate it, and I'm glad it was able to help you because that album helped me in some really hard times. Because at that time, man, I was on some I was really in the street, and I'm not glorifying what I'm about to say. So kids, if you're watching, I'm not glorifying this, but I was really in the street. I was doing a lot of things I wasn't proud of. And I was walking around with a burner on me, and I was really, really, really out here, and not proud of any of that. You know what I'm saying? So let's just be clear. Looking back now, I wish I did
telling it. The story.
Saying how it's just how it was, the situation I was in. But had that album not come out, I'm not sure. That album gave me purpose of something to work on because I was in such a dark place. I was drinking a lot, doing a lot of drugs. I was just wilding out, man. And that album gave me purpose and structure to focus on something, and it sobered me up and it got me through a lot. And I just kind of put everything on a pen and paper and just let it rip. And so I'm grateful that album was able to help you because it helped me, man. Trust me, I'm a free guy because of that album. You know what I'm saying? I would have been a bad spot, So.
And it got me through a tough time because of just to let you know in what sense. I was dealing with loss, family loss at that time. And relationship loss, right? I was going through transition with my ex at the time, which not together anymore. But at that time, right? Loss, grieving, loss, going through hardships. The struggle song. I'll Never Run. That joint. I'm Cuban B. That has the part from, I think it's from the movie. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm Cuban B's actually was EFN's idea. That was his joint because he had saw Half Baked and he was like, "Yo, we got to use this sample and make I'm Cuban B." So that was actually EFN. Yeah. So go ahead.
Oh, I love that. I love that joint, and I Am, of course. It has like that little kind of like homage to the Incredible Hulk beginning, right? It has the Incredible Hulk sample in the beginning. Oh my God! Like the whole thing. Yo, I memorized the law, all of it. You even gave a shout out to the Puerto Ricans in New York too.
Yeah, because I love everybody. I love all Latins, bro. And it's funny because people try to peg us against each other, right? Like Cubans and Latins.
I hate that.
Like why? Who cares, bro? Like they're from an island, I'm from an island. Like everybody's fine. Like it don't matter. It's like not that deep. Yeah. But yeah, no. I mean that album, man. The Struggle, In My Life. I believe it was on In My Life's on that album, right? Was In My Life on that album? No, I think that was on Shattered Dreams' album. That was a different album. Yeah, but yeah, it's that album was very therapeutic for me. I was dealing with the same thing as you. I was dealing with loss. I was dealing with relationship loss and financial hardships and not. It's hard when you in your mid-20s, right, and you don't know where you belong anymore.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a scary thing. People talk about waking up when they're 30 or 40. No, you're not ambitious. You're not ambitious, right? If you're not scared when you're 20 something, and you're like, shit, what am I gonna do, right? That's how I felt too in my 20s. I was in my early 20s at that time, and early 20s, and I'm like, probably was like 20, 21. It's like, shit, what am I gonna do? I'm getting through college. Right? People don't realize, people always tell you, go to school, do this, do that. But what the hell am I going to do? I have student debt and I don't have a career yet.
Yeah. It's funny because college, I dropped out of college actually to think about that. I was dropping out of college at that time too, right? And I was like, yo, I'm putting all my chips in this music shit and this film shit and crazy hood shit. And that's what I'm going to do. Bro, you know what that is to go home and tell your Cuban 50-year-old mother that this is what you're gonna do? Like, yo, she's gonna be like, what? You know what I'm saying? And I'm getting divorced. I'm in the middle of a divorce, and my mom thought I was crazy. I love my mother, as you can tell, but she thought I was nuts, and I was scared, man. Like, it's scared. Like, yo, you're supposed to go to college. You're supposed to do what everybody tells you you're supposed to do. And I was just like, yo, none of this shit calls me, man. What calls me is this art shit. This is what I'm meant to do. And if that means that I gotta struggle and not know how to rub two dimes together to make 50 cents, then I'll do that. But I just gotta be around it. The best way to describe when I walked away from music, because I walked away shortly after Life Unscripted. Actually, I did Shattered Dreams after that, and then it was over, right? But did a couple mixtapes too in between. But what really struck me, there was a line in the movie Rocky when Rocky's picking up spit, and his trainer comes over and he's like, "Yo, why are you picking up this spit? Like you're ex-heavyweight champion of the world, bro. Have some pride." And he goes, "I just got to be around it." That shit there was like the deepest shit he could have said. Yeah, it's deep. I just got to be around it. And that's real because he couldn't fight. He had a fucked up eye. And like when I started doing low budget music videos and just trying my best for like low band, people looked at me like I had failed, bro. Right? Like they were looking at me like I was crazy. Like, yo, this guy was on the radio every day in Miami. Yeah. He was popping albums. He was independent. He was touring. I mean, I went on a tour with KRS-One. I mean, I was on tour with Wu-Tang. I mean, he's on top of the world. And he just gonna walk away and just do little $500 videos for local bands. And they looked at me like I felt, but I just had to be around it.
They didn't see a vision. They didn't see the vision.
Yeah, well, you know what? Like, and I'm gonna talk my shit real quick, but that $500, you know what I'm saying? Like this is what the $500 videos amounted to. Let me go over here. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you know what I'm saying?
Congratulations.
So
yes.
Yes. So it's like I guess that is to say that not everybody is gonna see the vision. You gotta believe it, bro. And that came from authenticity. That didn't come from like, oh, I'm gonna make this video to like appease somebody. No, like that specific award that was from Machine Gun Kelly, Bloody Valentine. That was what I authentically wanted to do for that record, and it got me an award.
So nah, man, that's a great story right there. So we'll segue into this, right? Talk to me and talk to the audience about some of the work that you've done. Obviously, you got a Moon Man there. So Garcia and I just want to tell you before you get into some of the work you've done, who you've done.
Oh, bro, hold on. I'm going the wrong way. There you go, bro. It's right here. That's the life.
Ah, yes. Yo, that album, it's one of my favorite albums. It really, I'm not just BSing you because you're here. Yeah. It's one of my favorite albums. I love that album. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I'm Different was one of my joints, man. I used to love
Always
that record.
Been different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is a great record, man. Thank you, bro. So.
And then when you talk about, you have the other record too, where you're talking about, all right, little Jenny.
Yeah,
that joint.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Yeah, but
I mean, the voice, it's funny, but the message is, obviously not funny.
It's not funny, but it's a creepy ass record, yeah. But like, it is what it is, you know. So
right. No, I'm just the only part that's funny is your imitation of what, right? Obviously, come on, little Jenny, but obviously you're not. You know, the subject matter is very serious, and I really appreciated that you made a record like that. I didn't have kids back then. I have a daughter myself now too. I have a son and a daughter.
Oh, congrats, bro.
Thank you. Yeah, and I have a family now, wife, son, and daughter. But so getting back to you, right? You have the Moon Man right there. Who talk to the audience about some of the work you've done for other artists?
What do I start? I mean, Kodak Black, Tunnel Vision was actually how to do this way. There, Kodak, Tunnel Vision, double platinum Black there. Polo G's on the wall there. Polo G and Ali Choppa. I worked with Sting, which was a really big accomplishment for me.
Wow.
Directing Sting, because that was, I could direct all the rappers in the world, but like when you tell your mom you directed Sting, it's like it's a whole ball game, you know.
That's the cat. Listen, when you working with the dude that everybody samples from, that's when you got something.
Yeah, I'm just giving you like highlights. I'm trying. There's so many. I'm like probably 150 videos deep now. I just did a video for Jason Derulo and Kodak Black, the new video Sliding that just came out. That was me. The one I got the Moon Man for was Machine Gun Kelly with Megan Fox was in the video. That was before anybody even knew they were dating.
Saw that.
So that was that one. Busta Rhymes, Belle Biv DeVoe. I just did the whole Fast 9 soundtrack. So Fast and Furious 9, the whole soundtrack, every video was me.
Wait, repeat that again. Go ahead, repeat. The audience might have missed that, okay? Go ahead, repeat that. Talk your shit.
I'm Cuban. I talk fast, yo. I'm sorry.
I caught it. I want everybody else to catch it.
The Fast and Furious 9 whole soundtrack, that was me. I did every music video for the Fast and Furious 9 soundtrack. I did SpongeBob SquarePants music video for SpongeBob SquarePants. Did that. That was actually kind of dope. Busta Rhymes, Belle Biv DeVoe. Not sure if I did that one. They remade Poison, and that one was big for me because it was like, I grew up in the Belle Biv DeVoe era, and then I've seen Busta Rhymes' career, and Busta's my dude, though. Like me and Busta are mad close. That's my guy. So
legend.
Yeah. He's gonna call me a little bit later today. I gotta talk to him about it or something else. But shout out to Busta. But he called me. He was like, "Yo, Mike, I'm gonna tell you the kind of guy Busta Rhymes is." He asked me to do. He said, "I got a record." Well, I remember he called me. I was in downtown. He's like, "Yo, I'm gonna sing this record. It's with Belle Biv DeVoe. I think you'd be perfect for it." I was like, "All right, cool."
Yeah.
And he sends it to me, and I flip out because it's Poison. It's like it's the Belle Biv DeVoe.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh shit!" And then, like, COVID hit, and then it was over. It was a wrap. And a year and a half later, he called me back and he said, "Yo, we ready to make the video. Do you still want to do it?" Yo, he could have moved on 50 ways to Sunday and got it done with anybody, and he kept his word to me. He called me back. So I have utmost respect for Busta Rhymes. So that one was dope. Man, who else? I'm trying to think of I'm at a point where I've worked with so many people that it becomes a big blur. Like, Trippie Redd, Lil Mosey, Thalia. I just did Thalia, which is another legend. Thalia.
Of course, Becky G. Thalia's a huge Becky G. Superstar right now.
Yeah, Thalia, Becky G, and Cheekies right now, which is a song they did with Playing Skills. I've done a lot of videos with Playing Skills. Look, I think the secret to all the videos that I've done, I mean, shit, even this video here, which you can't see the platform, but Bad Baby with Kodak Black Bestie.
Yes.
Like this video is insane. If anybody, I mean, say what you want about this girl, but she's a real one.
No, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the secret to my success, honestly, if you want to call it success, or the secret to my longevity, let's put it that way. The secret to my longevity has been my inability to fear failure. Like, I'm not scared to fuck up, bro. I'm not scared to fail. I'm not scared to say I don't know how to do something, but I will hire somebody better than me to figure it the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's always been my objective. Like if anybody wants a really good tip on directing, making music, or any of that, hire up, bro. Like hire up. Like don't like if I'm gonna hire a cinematographer to shoot my video, he's gotta be nicer than me with the camera, bro. Because why am I paying you if I'm nicer than you? Like you got to be nicer than me. You know what I'm saying? If
Of
I'm gonna
course.
hire, like I grew up editing, videos. If I'm gonna hire an editor, shout out to my man Vinny Hobbs and my man Chris Simmons. They do all my videos, bro. Those guys, I manifested those guys in my life. Like those guys, I was like, yo, these guys could cut. And for me to say that those guys could cut, like they could cut. Half my videos I cut myself. So I was like, yo, these guys could really cut a video. So I manifested getting them on my team. Because that's who had to cut for me because they were better than me. So I need the best. And that's what builds longevity, right? It's like they're not paying just for you, they're paying for what comes with you. And it's that team. And I spent years cultivating that team. So that's what I always suggest. Like hire up. If you don't know how to do something, say, I don't know how to do it. It's in my head. I know what it's supposed to look like, or I know what it's supposed to sound like. Yo, Quincy Jones don't make beats, bro.
Nope. That's not his thing. Nope.
Yeah, but he knows what it sounds like in his head, so he's gonna hire the right musicians to get that sound out of his head. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Dre, like people are like, oh, Dr. Dre, yo, bro, the guy's a genius. He hires all these other really ill beat makers to come in and get what's in his head out. That's a producer. A director, they hire up. Musicians hire up. Don't sit here and just try to be like, yo, I'm gonna do everything myself. And we live in a society. We live in a society where people are trying to do that, and that's fine. But everybody you see that's supposedly doing it by themselves, they have a team, bro. Trust me, I'm in the game. I know. I'm watching it. They have a team of people around them. It's physically impossible to handle everything by yourself. Hire up and hire really good people that are better at you what to do, and to hire people you can trust. And that's it, man. Don't worry about the money. I've never worried about money. I mean, that's a lie. Let me keep it real. I've worried about money. And every time I've taken a job just for the money, I've never been happy with the outcome. Never. I don't think I could ever say I took this one job because I needed this check. And there's been many videos that I've taken because I needed a check. I needed this check to feed my kid, put some clothes on my kid's back, pay the rent, whatever. There's been a couple of those. I've never been truly happy with the outcome of those gigs. But now what I've learned is if I just go in with like this dope ass concept and I don't worry about the money, I just go for it. The money usually follows, bro. They just, what I'm saying? Like don't chase the money because money's like a woman, bro. You ever like, or the opposite sex? You ever chase after somebody you really want and they just run the other way because you're just so easily available? Like, please, I need you.
No, you can't do that. Can't do that.
Money works the same way, bro. And you gotta just you gotta put in the work. Trust your vision,
naturally,
go for it, naturally, and everything will manifest itself out, bro. Always does.
That's a great word of advice because I think people always do the chase the bag thing. It's like everything is chasing the bag, especially nowadays, right? You see it now. People want the mansion without putting in the work that it took to get the mansion, right? They want to be on yesterday, and it doesn't work that way. You gotta. I like what you said. You said something interesting as far as having the ability to identify people, not only hire, but identify people who you know are more talented than you or better than you at something. There's a great skill in that. There's a really great skill and there's great presence of mind to have that ability to do it.
Every great artist does it, bro. Look, I mean, Steve Jobs. You think Steve Jobs is sitting there designing every single iPhone when he was alive? No, bro.
No.
Paul Wozniak and a bunch. They sat there and hired the illest people on earth to create Apple. Like same thing with Bill. Like when he was doing Microsoft, Ralph Lauren. You think Ralph Lauren's designing every polo shirt that came out? No, bro.
No.
He hired the best designers in the world, kid. Great minds. They hire up. Good artists copy, great artists steal. Like Pablo Picasso quote. Like. Think about that. Good artists copy, great artists steal. No idea is original anymore, fam. There's not. Like, you've seen it all. You've seen it all. Everything is a work in progress or something else at this point. So when come on. I could sit here and make a killing doing boats and hose videos. all day long.
Yeah.
I don't want to do them. Why? Hype
Nope.
Williams has done that. Now,
It's
if
been
it came
done.
across, but if I come across an idea where I could take the boats and hose concept and I could flip it and elevate it and go, oh, this would be super dope, then I'd be interested because good artists copy, great artists steal. You understand? But they only steal if they elevate the concept. They steal it from up. You know? So
Yeah. No, it's not even, I don't even look at it like stealing. I look at it more like influence, right? Because nobody comes from just nowhere. It's not like something, every spark of consciousness, every idea came from an initial spark. And then it kind of just goes like that and it evolves and develops over time. Nothing comes out of, you know what I mean? Like the first MC really wasn't the first MC because he was inspired by somebody else that came before him. I'm talking about when hip hop was first created.
bro, you told me that I reminded you like hints of Big Pun, right? Which I take as a comment. Yo, my style, straight up and down, was Big Pun, Method Man had a child. It was Big Pun meets Method
Yeah.
Man with a dash of DMX. That was my style.
I agree. I agree. That's a great, you know what? That's a great take.
Yeah.
That's a great take because what I feel, and I'm glad you have a greater deal of self-awareness, which is important.
Oh, it was by design, bro. Like I knew exactly what I wanted to sound like. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the guys that inspire me, and I was okay with it. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like all these artists do it, bro. What do you think? Drake's not out here taking little bits of Nas here and there, like and a little bit of Jay and a little bit of Kanye and putting it all together and making Drake. Of course he is. You know, like that's okay. That's what it's supposed to be, bro. But continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. Definitely. No worries. Question for you about you, since you mentioned this, your influences. Were you ever, because I know you from Miami, were you ever at a point where because you didn't sound like anybody from Miami, and I always wondered, did you ever get pushback? Because I always looked at you like someone who had a lot of up north influence for a guy that was from the South, especially since you were a lyricist. It's not all true that Southern MCs are not lyricists. It's not true. But there's a stigma, unfortunately, that MCs from the South are not as lyrically inclined, right? Or that they push the party stuff as opposed to lyricism. Did you ever get pushback?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like, especially from the radio. You know, I'll never forget. There was a program director at Power 96, big radio station down in Miami. Probably top 3. They told me like, "Yo, you're too smart for the audience. You got to dumb it down."
Wow. What?
I said, "What?" Yeah, straight up. That's what you told me. And by the way, I love Power 96. Love my people over there. Like my man Zog. That person's not at Power 96 anymore. Shout out to Lucy Lopez. Shout out to DJ Zog. Shout out to Ivy. You know, all those people. But yeah, at one point, Power 96 told me, "You are too smart for this audience. You know, your music's not built for radio. You're too smart. People don't want to think. Just dumb it down."
Wow.
And you know, hey, maybe he was right. I'm not even dissing what he told me. But yeah, of course, there was a stigma. But listen, man, like anybody telling Dre 3000 to dumb it down, not for nothing, but Dre 3000 will body 95% of the rappers on the planet, let alone like
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
No. That's just fact. Yes,
this is a fact. So it's like you telling Killer Mike to dumb it down, like no,
nope.
You know. So of course, at the time when I was popping, the internet wasn't what it is now. You know, maybe I should have. You needed the radio back then. You know, but I don't care, man. It wasn't who I was. You know, and that's cool too. You know, I think at the end of the day, man, I could walk, and I do it all the time. I walk through the streets of Miami all the time. Everybody out here knows me. They know who I am. They know what I'm about. I have no problems with nobody. I can hold my head high, and I got the respect of my city, and people show me love, and that's better than being some asshole that can't even walk his own block. You know, so, you know what I'm saying? To me, you can have $1 million, but if you can't leave your house, what's it worth? You know what I'm saying? Like for real. Like everybody wants a 26. Yeah, everybody wants a 26-bedroom mansion. They don't realize how lonely it gets if you only have like 2 people living in it. You know, you and your wife, or you and your kid. Like, it's lonely in there, bro. Like that's a lonely place to be, yo. Like I'm a different kind of man, bro. Like and I know that, especially in hip hop, I'm a different kind of individual, dude. I am not. I mean, bro, I wear an Apple Watch. People are like, yo, you got to get a Rolex. My watch gives me emails, bro. Like I don't want a Rolex. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like your Rolex can't give me my emails, man. I don't care to ever really have big chains or big jewelry. I mean, I had that phase in the early 2000s where I had a Cuban link. You know, I had some gold teeth. Sometimes I miss my gold teeth, but that's just a southern thing.
Yeah.
That's just a southern thing. Yeah, I miss my gold teeth.
Of
But like,
course, that's ingrained in the fabric. That's in the fabric. Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I don't want to say I'm humble. I just want to be true to myself and walk out the door. And yo, I'm telling you, man, I can go anywhere in this city. I'll get in, no problem. I don't got to dress up. I'm coming in black t-shirt, sneakers, and jeans.
Yeah.
Everybody knows my attire, and I'm fine. You know, I got to worry about nothing. So like, I'm that to me is pride, and real wealth comes from me being able to wake up in the morning and do what I love for a living. Some months financially are better than others, but I still get to wake up and choose what I do, and that to me is wealth. You know, so
that's a beautiful thing, man, and I really I have a great deal of respect for you and people such as yourself who are able to do that. You know what I mean? You took chances. People think that it's easy, right? You were building up for this time. You took chances.
Bro, you don't even understand. Like I've had plenty of days where like my daughter would have food and I was eating like spoons of peanut butter, you know, just so my daughter could eat, you know, or not having a camera to shoot a video. So you go to Best Buy with a credit card, buy the camera, shoot the video, and then return it because they had a 30-day return policy. You know, like there was a lot of things. I mean, like sleepless nights, panic attacks, you know, like lots of really hard things that you go through as an artist, and it's not built for the weak. I could tell there's two people in this industry that are in front of the camera and behind it, right? It's artists and people who want to be famous, and you got to decide who you are.
Yeah.
That I always tell everybody, decide what you want to be right now. You want to be an artist or you want to be famous? There's a very clear. I've always wanted to be the artist. I've never really aspired. I mean, and I think that's where the lines blurred with my music back in the day. Was that it started blurring into like chicks that I could have never bagged before was coming at me, you know, and things was. I was like, oh, shucks, get a little bit of bread. I was feeling myself, you know, and that distorted really quickly, you know, and I was like, yo, hold on, I'm losing my artistry, you know, so you got to decide, do you want to be famous or do you want to be an artist? And I ask people that all the time, and it really takes them aback because there's two lines, like Kendrick is an artist, like Kendrick Lamar is an artist. He just happens to be a very famous artist, but he is an artist, you know? Like if Kendrick Lamar, if Instagram went out tomorrow, he'd be fine. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of artists that if Instagram dropped out tomorrow would not be okay. You know what I'm saying? So like, you got to decide what you want to be, bro. You know, like, do you want to be famous or are you really about this art? And I've always been about the art. You know, so that's my approach.
I definitely appreciate that, especially you breaking down the distinction because it's so true. And you know, so before we go, I want you to talk to the audience. Tell us all what you have coming up next, what's on and also plug your website as well, where they can kind of, you know, contact you and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, you can contact me at garciasvision.com. You can contact the whole Crazy Hood crew at crazyhood.com. We always do our best to respond. I mean, hell, you DM me out of nowhere and I responded to you. Like, we don't shit on nobody. We love everybody, and we're like we love humans. You know what I'm saying? So like we try to show love no matter what. So hit us up, definitely contact us. We'll get back to you no matter what. As far as what I got coming up right now, I got a lot of things in the work. Unfortunately, contractually, I'm not allowed to speak about them yet.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's my apologies. I'm not even trying to
respect. No, come on. You do listen. I'm gonna find out because when I see it come out, it'll be out. So I'll follow you and see it.
And I'll definitely, you know, I'll send you that record, man, that I told you that they never made this album. I'll send it to you so you can hear it. It'll blow your mind. That record's really dope.
I appreciate that.
There's actually, man, I'm always trying to figure out how to leak. I have one unreleased album that's never come out. And I have it like literally in my Dropbox. So I might just shoot it to you just so you can have it, so you can hear some shit. Like it's kind of ill. But yeah, I mean, just hit us up. Follow us on Instagram. My Instagram is Garcia's World. My website is garciasvision.com, crazyhood.com. We're always tagging each other. You can follow any of us from those links there. And we just, like I said, man, just keep the culture pushing. I pray that there is a lot more unity in the world going on right now. And for these young artists coming up, especially, I see these young artists now and you know, the New York drill scene. And I think a lot of that shit is really dope. I just hope y'all can keep your head together because as a person who's been through 40 years of hip hop, I can tell you, bro, like just watch what you're doing, because if you don't watch what you're doing, I can tell you that the boys in blue are watching what you're doing. So just be careful and keep your shit together and try to stay positive and just focus on the music. Get off the street. Yeah. So.
Word, nah, I respect that. Yeah, that's real words from an OG. Now I have, because I know I really appreciate what you were telling me as far as sending me the music. Listen, send it all in. But is there any, myself and there's fans who want to know, is there any chance that Garcia makes a comeback on the music scene independently, EP, mixtape, album? Is there any chance that would ever happen?
I mean, look, I told you I have a whole unreleased album that I was working on that I'm about to send you. I don't know. I mean, it just really depends on where the cards fold, man. I'm 44 years old. If I put it out, which I've talked to E before about putting this project out, it might happen. I'll send you a quick advance link of it so you can kind of check it out. It's like an EP. It's something we worked on 3 years ago. And then my music video career just exploded, bro. And it's just been really hard to finish the project. But it might be some shit that I just put out where it's just like, it is what it is, and it's unmixed and it's raw, you know. And there's a special quality about that it's just raw and unmixed, you know. It's just like, yo, this shit is mad, wild and crazy, you know. So Kendrick put an album out like that called Untitled Unmastered. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Oh my God. Oof.
Yes. Yeah. It's like, that's like, it's kind of like that. I just put it out this way, like, boom. And the only reason why it's not mixed was, yo, I'll never forget this. Yo, my car got broken into and they stole my book bag on a set. Right? I was shooting Austin Mahone. I'll never forget it, man. I was shooting Austin Mahone. Shout out to my guy, Austin, great guy. I was shooting Austin Mahone, and they broke into my car where we was at. Not only was my whip, but they just broke into my whip and they stole my backpack. And bro, my whole EP that I was working on was in that backpack. So all I have is the 2-track non-mixed versions of the songs. But thank God that those versions of the records, the 2 tracks, they sound pretty official. You know what I'm saying? I might just put it out. You know, like it's all right. But yeah, if I did it though, I think the Garcia you saw before, one, musically, his wanting to be on stage all the time, I don't know if that guy's there anymore. But if I put it out just for the audience to appreciate it, because the music is good, I would do that. You know, like that I'd be interested in doing. Like, yo, this is just for the people that really appreciate my shit. Here you go. One last run. Go for it. And you as a fan, I think, especially if you're a fan of this album, like I think you'd appreciate this music. You know, like it's dope. You know, so
I appreciate that. Listen, it's great. Garcia, Michael Garcia. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, bro.
It's a pleasure. And we'll keep in touch, man. I appreciate you. And
yo, do you got that Cuba shirt on your website? Because I'm confident.
I do. Yes. See the wait, the camera. Yeah. Santosthreads.com. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
No, yo, much love, bro. Thank you, bro. I'm gonna DM you my number too. If you have anything, man, it's faster just to text me. So whatever you need, I got you, bro. All right. Anything you need,
we'll connect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bro.
All right,
peace,
man.
Yo.
Peace.
Later.
Peace, my brother. So, man, that was a great episode. So, man, what a great guest. I mean, Michael Garcia, really, what a great story. And just seeing his transition into a director, from being a hip-hop MC, the ups and downs of life. And sometimes we go in other directions where we don't expect to go, and they take us to new passions. And so, special shout out to Garcia. Of course, shout out to Crazy Hood, the whole crew, Miami, and everybody. And I look forward to talking with him again. And of course, that was episode number 49. So, as always, don't forget, follow me on Instagram, Santos Thread Shop, TikTok, Santos Thread Shop. And that was episode 49. And of course, as always, don't just say what you mean or mean what you say. Say with your chest.